I'm Amos, host of Undaunted, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual host. Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready, because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 283 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast, recorded live on Sunday, October 22nd, 2017. It's almost Halloween, guys. I can say guys this time because Naki's not here this week, so it's just like a sausage fest.
Isn't guys also just a common term for people?
It depends on who you ask. I don't know. I found
Yeah,
it's
don't
best
ask
not
a
to
feminist.
Don't ask most people because everyone's hair triggered to get offended whether I meant to or not.
I love to trigger people.
You're offended? Good. Fuck you.
I mean, that's not where I was going with that. It's just, I don't know. It's the world we live in today.
Each person's view is one of their own on this show, so yeah.
That's what it says in the pre-roll.
No, everything I say is the express view of All Things Good and Nerdy and the Gonna Geek Network.
No,
So send all your hate mail to all things good and nerdy.
that's a lie. You see, I'm gonna hit the lie button. That's the lie button.
I thought that was another button.
Send all your hate mail to Anthony@GonnaGeek.com.
Yeah. So how
I'm
things
still surprised
going,
I got
guys?
a Gonna Geek.
Are we ready for another Sunday of shenanigans?
I like email.
You goddamn right.
I don't even know what's going on. I'll be honest.
Apparently, we're just making noises.
Well, I can start the show off proper with a good old-fashioned story.
A Willie story.
A
Willie story.
Wait,
All right.
I have the worst
It better
bump.
be-
Oh no, that's story time with Naki.
It better be good, or Little Negan will shut that shit down. He is ready, Willie. He is fucking ready. He will shut
Little
that shit
Negan.
down.
Little Negan looks like my left testicle.
He has some small testicles with little baseball bats.
I mean, I don't ever want kids, so what do I? So I'm not complaining. But
Yeah, what do you guys think about that, Chris?
No show babies from the sky.
Oh, face palm, and Chris, face palm, and Chris.
Oh my god, that was
for you,
terrible.
Naki.
So let me start this off proper here and set up the scene. It was Thursday morning.
Thursday morning.
It was a cold Thursday morning.
It was a cold Thursday morning.
Actually, it was actually pretty all right weather outside. But I was just leaving for work, late as usual. I had to stop and get some gas at the little convenience store right down here. And oh my god, I started loving it since they started carrying lumpy water. If you guys don't know about lumpy water, it's fucking delicious.
What the hell is lumpy water?
It's
That's
also
what
known
they're
as
drinking in Puerto Rico, right?
It's also and Michigan, or was it Flint too?
And Flint.
But no, it's the aloe vera water. There's little chunks of aloe in it.
Oh
No, it is delicious. If you see it, try it. Well, there's one brand that is very
chunks
bitter.
of like the aloe lotion, or like chunks of like the aloe plant.
Plant lotion. What?
Yeah, when you fucking cut an aloe vera leaf off and the liquid comes out.
That's not chunky at all. We're talking about the gel. Anyway, that's not part of the day. Well, it is part of it, but it's not.
You're the
part of
one
story.
drinking chunky liquid, and I'm the weirdo. Whatever.
It's fucking delicious. Shout out to strawberry flavored ones because they were the best.
Shout out to strawberry. Yeah.
I mean, if it's there, I'm gonna be drinking it. But so I leave from there, and pretty much I turn out my driveway. The convenience store is right there, and then I turn on the highway. It's like all on the same road. It takes about like 4 minutes to get to the highway. It's just a two-way road. Right before the highway, it changes from 45 miles an hour to 35 miles an hour. And there's usually a cop waiting up near the highway, like, well, you motherfuckers are still going 45 or 50. We're going to get your ass. So I know this. So I'm like, I'm going to slow down for this 35 miles an hour, as I always do. Just slowing down normally. When all of a sudden, I didn't even notice there's a vehicle behind me until I hear it gunning its engine, and it's going beside me. And he's so close, he just nicks the smallest amount of my mirror, just a little plastic casing of it.
Just a
Didn't
little
do any
scratch
damage.
off it, basically.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell? I'm like, I didn't even honk my horn. Like, I just throw my arms like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm sure he was already going to do this anyway. He gets in front of me, slams on his brakes. There's still the skid marks out on the street now.
Fucking people.
And then so I stop. I'm like, what? So I guess he's getting out saying I'd hit him or some stupid shit. So I turn off my engine, turn off my radio. I'm about to get out when he's already rushing to my truck.
So he's pissed.
Yelling. He gets in my window, punches my window.
What the fuck?
Yes. And then
Is North Carolina a concealed carry state or open carry state by chance?
What's the difference? Open, like you don't have to have the thing.
You don't
to
have
carry.
to have a license if
I'm
you
sure you have to have a
carry
license.
openly, or you can conceal carry with a license.
I know my buddy has a concealed carry.
So he's
know
pretty
that.
ballsy then to be going around in a state that could potentially have concealed carry to go up and punch at someone's window.
No shit.
And this is
Reach
a
in the glove box and point a fucking handgun in there. Like, go ahead, punch the window again, motherfucker.
I mean, not that I'm saying that's what you should have done. I'm just saying you put yourself in that guy's position. If you're in a state where someone could whip a gun out at you, if you go and try and get in their face as you run up to a car, that's pretty moronic.
Well, that, and in Willie's position, he's doing the speed limit, and an idiot hits him, slams on his brakes in front of him, and then gets out of his car and fucking attacks Willie's car.
Oh, there's
Fuck
more
that.
to it.
Most states you can get away with saying right there you're scared for your life when you shot him.
Like, and even when I heard the engine behind me gun, I was still going like probably 45, maybe 40, but that's pushing in the yeah. So I was still going above the speed limit.
So he's just a super asshole.
And then so he's still yelling at me, and all of a sudden he goes and like, open the door. I'm like what the fuck? I'm about to get out anyway. So, but before I could open it, he opens my door.
Oh.
And
Oh,
then
hell no. I'd have got out and punched him in his fucking face.
And then he's leaning all up in my face, calling me a cocksucker and all this. Yeah, that verbatim, his words. And what I'm thinking is he's angry is he thought I slammed on brakes in front of him, which I don't slam my brakes at all. Like I can't even remember the last time I even slammed on my brakes.
Was like, my brakes don't even fucking work. Just messing with you.
I hope they do. I just
just
got them
hoping-
done.
I'm just hoping now, I want to joke for the story. I'm just hoping that when Willie gets out of the car, this dude is like 5'2", and
No,
he
he's
just shits himself.
Oh, he's a very large man. I
God
don't.
damn it!
No. He's 5'11", but he's
Oh, that's not a large man.
no, he's large.
Oh, he's
You know what I mean?
round.
He's portly.
Was he corpulent? Very corpulent?
Sure, let's go with that one.
Nah, he's just like round.
And then I get out my truck. He backs off the man. I'm getting out. I'm like, whoa, what's the problem here, buddy? What are you angry about? I'm getting a little tone to me because I don't like being someone putting their face right inside while I'm sitting in my truck calling me a cocksucker. I don't enjoy that at all.
Most people wouldn't.
No shit.
And then and he's still yelling at me. And then he goes back towards his truck. And I'm like, what the? So is he just getting in his truck and leaving? No. He reaches in the bed of his truck and he pulls out a rubber mallet. One of those like hammers, like a big rubber end, hammer end instead. Yeah, and he's coming back at me. And I look back behind me because we're stopped in the middle of the road. We didn't pull over to the side. Like, it's only a two-way road. So, and sure enough, right behind us is not a fire truck, but like, a pickup truck that says fire on the side. I'm guessing some kind of,
Like the
EMTs
fire
or something
rescue
like that.
vehicles and stuff.
Yeah. And they have their little strobe light flashlights and going in the front of the truck. And so I'm like, well, thank God these people are here to witness this shit. And he comes at me and he starts pointing that mallet in my face.
Oh, fuck
And
that.
I'm like, I'm just knocking it out of my face. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you so angry at? And they get out of their vehicle, the fire guys. And they're like, is everything all right here? I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Mm-hmm. See, my ass would have called 911 as soon as that guy opened up the car door, my car door.
And he's still yelling at me. At this point. And they're coming closer, and he finally just says, and he just storms off back to his truck and peels off.
Oh, of course he does.
Yeah, because he's a coward.
Yep. one of the EMT guy or fire guys, they got the license plate. I was like, thank God, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was like, what the? I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, this shit's fucking bonkers. And the other one's already calling like non-emergency police. So I'm like, all right. And he gave me the license plate. I should have got their numbers, but I did not. They said they can't wait here for the cops, so I just pulled off to the side, like a little driveway, waiting for the cops. And they just kind of went on. And the cop got there finally after about 15 minutes. After another sheriff's car already passed by. I'm like, hey, come back? No? Okay, good. So then finally a second sheriff's car pulled. It was like, oh, I'm here, right here. This guy. Finally, I'm waving at you this time. Maybe that'll get you. So he stops and pretty much tells me after everything, gave him the license plate, everything, says, well, since I wasn't there, I can't really do anything. So I didn't witness it. In my head, I'm like, so if I just go around shooting people, if you didn't see it, I can't get arrested is what you're telling me, right?
It doesn't work quite like that.
Yeah. But still,
I know, but
you can still press charges for assault. He fucking put a weapon in your face. Like, that's against the law.
Yes.
He threatened you with a weapon.
Yeah, from what the sheriff said, I would have to go down to the courthouse and file out a warrant for him. Because he did run the tag, got the name. After the fact, I did look up the name under Facebook, and I did find him. Yeah. Yeah, fuck you, David May. That's all I got to say. That there's no charges on this. I'm too lazy to fucking go to the goddamn court. So I can say
no reason we can't all send him text messages.
No, we
I
are
don't
not
have his
doxing
number.
Someone on the podcast.
David May, Greensboro. Fuck that piece of shit.
We are not doxing someone on the podcast. No.
That's right. Chris does not endorse that.
David May, you can't cut this shit out.
That's a very common name. I'm fine with that. Please do not start giving out the guy's Facebook or Twitter or things like that on the show.
Lives in Greensboro.
Well, we knew that already. He's near you.
Lives somewhere around Groomtown Road.
No, you can't dox Clarence VG Rack. No.
But while I was waiting for the sheriff, I did call the convenience store guy because it's like one of those country convenience stores, gas stations. Like he knows everyone in the area, you know. So I started talking to him, like, hey, did you happen to see? There was like a little blue pickup that followed behind me after I left your store? Because the guy knows me a little bit. Jimmy, he's a good guy. Jimmy's convenience store. Stop there, everybody, if you're in the area. They have awesome lumpy water. He said he didn't recognize it, but he had pulled up his camera and he got like a little, potato quality picture of like a blue pickup truck coming in behind me. And he sent that picture to me. I was like, that doesn't help anything. He said he didn't really know, but call him back and let him know who, if the cops tell me who it was. And I was calling back and said, yeah, the cop said it was this guy, David May. He's like, what? David May? I know that guy. Yeah, he's a very nice guy. I'm like, you could have fucking fooled me.
Not today, it wasn't.
Yeah. So fuck that piece of shit.
Everyone has bad days occasionally, but that's taking it to an extreme. You'd be like, my day's so shitty that I'm going to speed past a guy, clip his car, blame him on it, and accost him with a rubber mallet.
Hold on a second. Your day's going shitty? This was like 8:40 in the morning.
Maybe he works night shift. I don't know. Everyone's going to have a bad day from time to time.
It's easy to have a shitty day by 8:40 in the morning.
Yeah, that's not the right way to handle it. That's all.
But to make my day shitty because of it too. That's just fucking.
Oh yeah, guy's an asshole. I mean, that's all there is to it.
So I'm thinking. So I'm guessing he just thought I slammed on brakes for him. He just being an ass. I don't fucking know.
No, he's just a total asshole.
Yeah, so I definitely got because I didn't get the numbers of the fire guys. I did get the name and number of the sheriff because I called my work. It's like, yeah, I'm running late. I was an hour late. I was like, yeah, because you guys are not going to believe this shit. I'm going to get this cop's number just in case.
No shit, yeah. You definitely want to have proof. I was waiting for the cop.
Did they file a police report or anything like that based off what you said?
No, he said, I'm going to go over to his house and talk to him. That's all I got.
So nothing came of it.
I was like, whatever.
The police report was a way for you to protect yourself if your job was like, hey, you're late. And you can be like, well, here's the police report.
Yeah. The two times I've actually needed help from cops, they have always kind of Well, I mean, this one he was. It's not like he wasn't like I understand he just couldn't help. But the other time was when my place got broken, and I asked the cops I was just looking for some good bedside manner. I was like, so what are the chances of me getting my stuff back? And that motherfucker just looked at me. He's like, huh, if we find it, like he did a little chuckle before it too. I was like, are you fucking kidding? Just a little bit, man.
They don't go looking for stolen items. If they find them, they'll return them to you, but they don't go looking for them.
I know. I just said, what are the chances of me getting my stuff back? That's all I was saying. And but him to laugh at me, and that's just fucked up. Like, I guess you're just gonna laugh at a victim here. You're a fucking awesome guy. Great. You're just an awesome person. Not the fact that you're a cop. Just you're an awesome fucking person. I can tell. Yeah. Well, nothing against Officer Christie. He was all right. He's like, I understood. He was just like, my hands are tied. Can't do anything. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. But that's what happened to me Thursday morning.
Willie, your life is far more exciting than mine.
That's on the extreme side of shit. Yeah. Oh, should I even read any of these comments?
There's been a whole lot of stuff going on in the chat room.
He was that invested in the story that he was not paying attention to our chat room.
You're missing out.
That's some storytelling right there.
Oh, apparently David May was a 2049 water pistol. It wasn't a rubber mallet. I was wrong. Sorry, Min Morph.
Well, Willie, I'm glad that you survived your road rage woes. I think the tentative title for this week is Willie's Road Rage Woes, just because I like the sound of it.
Fucking
that's good alliteration.
That fucking portly son of a bitch. David May. Do what you want with this information. I'm not telling you one way or the other.
Don't make it so he gets doxxed. That's not allowed by YouTube terms
I was thinking about doing it myself.
Twitch terms of service, or any of the other streaming services we use. This is not the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast telling you to do anything.
This is Willie Nelson telling you to do what you feel like you want to do.
I reiterate, I'm going to mute these guys. Do whatever. Do what they tell you to. God damn it. If we
is this going to be All Things Good and Nerdy Gate? Is this going to be ATGN Gate?
Oh.
I'm not telling them to do it. I'm telling them, do what you want to do in your own heart. If you want to go down a water slide, go down a fucking water slide. If you want to fuck with David May, go ahead and fuck with David May.
God damn it.
This is a free country. You can do what you want.
For now.
No. No. That's the bullshit alert now.
How many titles is damn button have?
It's called Red Alert 2 on my soundboard. It can do anything.
Well, Chris, you wanted a story.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he didn't want a story. He just got a story.
No, he sounded all invested when you said he had a story.
I was invested. I enjoy these things.
Yeah, sorry I'm smoking, but Jesus Christ, I need one after that story.
And he hasn't even gotten all the fun stuff he'll get to at the end of the show that he got to do.
Yay. Some of the fun stuff was later that night, and I was like, well, this is the start of a day.
So before we get to those stories, why don't we just start things off with the news of the week, though?
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
So the news of the week is that part of the show where we run down some of the most interesting, at least in our minds, geeky or nerdy news that's happened in the last week. And there's only 3 of us this week, but don't worry, I have an extra story to make up for the fact that Naki's here if we have time for it. So, hey, Anthony, why don't you kick us off? What's your news for this week?
My news for this week is Disney is continuing with the great competition or the great, I don't know, competition is the right word, but the
trolling.
Marvel messing with the distinguished competition for decades now. It's always been a thing that Marvel and DC have gone back and forth, and it's something that Kevin Smith's brought up a couple times on his podcast, especially on Fat Man on Batman when they're talking about release dates and trailers. Because DC would put out a trailer for, like Man of Steel, and then Marvel would put out a trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy. And it just seemed to be whenever DC did something, within a day or two, Marvel would do something else to try to just top them on the news cycle over and over and over. And it's basically been happening nonstop for the past 2 years. Well, all the last 30 days, we've been getting longer and longer trailers for Marvel's Netflix series, The Punisher, which most people are super excited for. John Barenthal was fantastic as The Punisher on Daredevil Season 2, and a lot of people are super stoked for the show. Excuse me. So with the rest of the year coming out, we know that we already knew that The Punisher was going to be released in November. That part had been given. We know that Thor's coming out. We know Justice League's coming out. We know Star Wars is coming out. So of those 3 nerd dates, if those 3 dates are already covered, you would think, well, then, Marvel, Disney can put Punisher on any other date that they want. But since 2 of those dates are Marvel Disney dates, and only one of those dates is a DC date, Marvel and Disney decided to give people a reason to stay home on November 17th instead of going to see Justice League. So The Punisher is coming out the day that the Justice League hits theaters. Because fuck the distinguished competition.
It's kind of a funny move, but I'm not really sure how much competition it really is to a Hollywood blockbuster, a Netflix series that you can watch at any time. I do like the move. I think it's funny.
It's just funny because it keeps happening over and over again. And because, they could have... Punisher could come out anytime between now and the end of the year, and it wouldn't really matter. But they specifically chose to release it on the one date that Disney and Time Warner and Warner Brothers has one thing coming out. And honestly, maybe 100 people will say, yeah, I don't want to deal with the theater today. I don't want to deal with people. I'm going to stay home and watch Netflix. And for those 100 people, it's fucking fantastic because they get to stay home and watch The Punisher.
Actually, I have a note here for my news of the week here. I do have a note here. It says, I will be watching Punisher over Justice League.
See? There's one of the 100 right there.
So I have a movie pass, so really I've already paid $10 to see as many movies as I want for the month, so I'll go see Justice League. I don't care.
I have a friend that's buying my ticket, which is the only reason I'm seeing Justice League on opening day.
Well, and wasn't going to. The funny thing is, and I can't confirm this, it's just something I read in a story online, but it's from some more reputable sources, is that supposedly this is going to have the shortest runtime of any of the DC movies for Justice League. And I went, wait a second, this is your team-up film that's supposed to be like the special effects extravaganza that's supposed to set up a bunch of stuff. I'm like, and it's your shortest? I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. They could do a smart, condensed, well-scripted out, well-plotted out movie. Or just
this is what happens when Joss Whedon takes out the long establishing Zack Snyder shots. Where every 10-second shot that's stretched out to a minute and a half, if you cut it back down to 10 seconds, they don't have to be 3-hour movies.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it just surprised me. I'm not super stoked about Justice League, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I didn't hate Wonder Woman, rather. I enjoyed that movie. I own it. It sits on my movie shelf here at the house.
I still haven't seen it.
It's a pretty good movie, Willie. You should check it out.
I just watched Wonder Woman again, for the second time. It is really good. It holds up.
He just cut out 40 minutes of Batman yelling Martha, I think is what Clarence BG had to say.
Why did you say that name?
Martha!
Why are we fighting?
Wait, do you have the same mom? Oh, your mom's just also named Martha. That's okay.
Martha.
Why does that creature look like a Goomba?
Sorry, what?
What? Yeah,
so Doomsday. He looked like a Goomba from the Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Have you not realized that yet? That's one of the reasons Doomsday was awful. Besides the fact that it was Lex Luthor's blood mixed with Zod, which makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. That would somehow create Doomsday.
That's just a weird take on Connor Kent, basically.
1 second. Is Doomsday going to be played by 1 second? I'm pulling up the name. God, because I can't. He's a musician as well. What the fuck? He has a weird name.
What the hell are you talking about?
Is it also going to be played by Mojo Nixon? The guy who played the Toad? It got turned into a Goomba in the Mario Brothers movie?
I don't think so.
Oh, you're trying to make me remember the Mario Brothers movie, which I've suppressed from my mind.
I've already quoted it twice this episode.
Yeah, that's a problem, because I don't remember any of those references, because I forced that out of my mind.
Well, here's a bit of trivia for you. You You know, John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins were drunk as shit during the making of that movie.
Yes, because it's about the only way you could get through making that movie, I think.
Oh,
John Leguizamo can get through anything. He made The Pest.
I love that movie. I got that on my shelf.
Yeah, but it's a ridiculous fucking movie. It's awesome,
know.
but it's ridiculous. I love John Leguizamo. I'll watch him in anything. I watched that stupid ass Romeo and Juliet movie only because John Leguizamo was in it.
I don't blame you. I can't fault you for that one, buddy.
I loved him in John Wick. He's a fucking great character as the dude running the fucking garage.
Yeah.
He bitch slapped that fucking Russian kid. The fuck you think?
Ian McShane running the hotel is even better.
Well, true. But I mean, yeah, just John Leguizamo doesn't get to play badass that often because he's done so many funny roles that when he gets to play a badass, like it's fun to watch.
Oh my god! Someone just he was in Spawn as the clown.
He was
the clown name? Yeah. Okay. For the
Motherfucker
longest
walked
time.
around crouched down for 2 months in a fat suit painted up as a white guy.
All right. So wait. Well, I mean, it's a clown. It's just white face paint. It's not as a white. But anyway.
No, it was white face over white face. Totally racist move. Stealing roles from white actors.
Fair enough. I'll let that roll. Naki's out here for that one. But
That's the bullshit alarm.
but for the longest time, I did not know that was John Leguizamo because I just assumed, oh, that's Danny DeVito.
Oh, really?
Because I
knew about it from the casting because I was big into that movie when it was coming out, so I knew all the actors that were. And I was like, how the fuck is John Leguizamo going to play the clown part of the Violator? And yeah, I saw pictures of him like on set, fucking crouched down. It's like, oh my god, he's got to walk around crouched down like that for like 2 months.
Mel
Like,
Brooks,
that's insane.
Mel Brooks had to do that to play Yogurt in Spaceballs.
Yeah.
He said it was the worst part of playing Yogurt is he had to walk around on his knees.
Yeah.
And it was hell on his knees.
Yeah, fucking John Leguizamo's Violator was fucking hilarious because yeah, he's cracking jokes the whole movie. He's fucking funny as hell. That's going to be the hardest replacement if McFarlane gets to do his new rated R Spawn that he's wanting to direct.
Yeah.
Getting somebody that can be that funny in the clown.
No. The
That's gonna
harder
be
thing
tough.
is going to be putting asses in seats because no one cares about Spawn anymore.
He's still got some hardcore fans.
Yeah, because that's going to make them
you put out a badass trailer. I mean, which Spawn could do. People will go see it. I mean, who the fuck gave a shit about Guardians of the Galaxies before that first trailer?
That's fair.
Nobody.
Well, we also knew it was part of the Marvel machine, so it would probably turn out all right.
No, even I was like, Guardians of the Galaxy. Why couldn't they choose something better? Why'd they go with this?
Well, no, and I was one of the people. I was like, why didn't they choose the fucking actual Guardians of the Galaxy? Who the fuck are these characters?
But then that trailer, I was like, you got me. I'm on
But yeah,
board.
It was a great trailer. James Gunn got his pick of random characters, and he put together a really cool team. I was sad Vance Hastrovic wasn't there, but whatever.
So let's go with our next story then as we start going through this stuff. You guys remember how Tron 3 keeps never happening and everyone hopes it does? Or am I the only one?
That's still a thing?
Oh, man, now I'm sad.
What was that? Was the second one even called Tron 2? It was just called Tron
Tron
Legacy.
Legacy,
wasn't it?
yes.
So it's not really Tron 3. There's going to have some kind of
Wait,
subtitle.
but what's her face come back in a skin tight bodysuit? I'll see it.
One would hope.
Tron. That's what it's going to be called.
It's going to
Or
be called
Tron Resurrection. Because
Tron-
Resurrection's used a whole lot.
Tron Indignity.
Well, actually, guys, so there's an interview I was reading with Joseph Kosinski, who was the director of Tron Legacy. He gave an update on the potential threequel. He spoke to ComingSoon.net about his latest movie, Only the Brave, and then talked about how the tentatively titled Tron Ascension tapped out at the scripting stage, but there's a lot of people having some hope it could come back because Jared Leto is evidently eyeing a proposed soft reboot, quote, being built out of the source code of the deleted Tron 3 script. So, there's a possibility that Tron might be coming back in some way, shape, or form. I'd kind of like to see it. I think part of what made it so expensive and hard to do in round 2 is the special effects, and you look at the kind of stuff they were doing and the de-aging they did of Jeff Bridges, which wasn't great. It's all a lot cheaper nowadays. You could make a good Tron movie and have it not cost as much anymore. I want to see it happen.
Well,
I do like
and the de-aging looks a lot better now too.
Yes.
I do like Low Life Otaku's title. Tron Revengeance.
Revengeance.
Let's just call it the Revengers.
Well, that's a Metal Gear
need to have a
Solid
name.
That's a Metal Gear Solid reference, guys. Come on.
Of course, Sailor Poland brings up a good point in the chat room. He says Disney has too many franchises right now. Why risk money on something so risky as Tron when the Marvel and Pixar films are hitting it out of the park? He says,
You know why?
But that's capitalism, buddy.
Because of Guardians 1. Because they're still willing to risk money on properties that if they can prove it will financially make more than $5, they're willing to take a shot at it.
Yeah, but here's why I don't think it's going to happen now. And Draftsman's comment is well timed in the chat room as I was thinking about it. He goes, did anyone here watch Blade Runner? Look at Blade Runner 2. Capitalizing on another cult classic that a lot of people like. Mm-hmm. Beautiful screenshots, beautifully directed by all accounts. It's brought in, what, $60 million in the box office right now? Well below its current budget. Rumor has it's going to get yanked out of the theaters earlier.
I said maybe the real problem is Jared Leto, because he seems to be the overarching problem in these movies.
Well, he's the guy pushing to get it done, which kind of gets me intrigued. I'm not a huge Jared Leto fan. Let me say that right here. I've caught crap for that before. The girlfriend loves Jared Leto. I'm like, he's a method actor who acts like a douche about it. It annoys me. Like, everyone's talking about all his stuff he did on the set of Suicide Squad to get in the mindset of the Joker. How he started sending his cast members condoms full of crap and stuff like that just to get twisted and thinking weird. I'm like, no.
Literally?
Not literally full of crap, but...
Oh. Okay.
Full of stuff.
I
remember it was full of something. I couldn't remember what. I was like, wait, was it really?
But
like Dead Rats to Margot Robbie?
Yeah, and he was doing stuff like that. And I'm like, that's stuff that sounds great in the press, but come on, that's stupid. Go look at a method actor like Andrew Lincoln. You don't see him doing crazy shit like that to become Crazy Rick. He gets crazy on set, supposedly, and goes off on his own to get in the right mindset, but he doesn't have to do these things that look great in the press.
I'll let you take that line, Chris.
Oh, Jared Leto? More like Jared Let Go. Thank you, Clarence Fiji Rack.
And yeah, you can see yourself out now.
No, you stay. I love that line.
I don't know. That just frustrates me. And yes, he's pretty good in the stuff he's in. It's just I don't like all the crap around it. Like, you hear about the stuff like Heath Ledger did for the Joker. He went method. He put himself in the mindset of it, but you didn't see him like torturing cast members and standing aside from the cast members on set because he had to stay in the mindset of the Joker. Like, one of my favorite stories they told about Heath Ledger on the set of The Dark Knight was him in full Joker makeup, skateboarding around, like doing kickflips and stuff like that on set in between takes.
Well, there's actual photos, of him kickflipping over Batman on the ground, and it's fucking Heath Ledger in full costume skateboarding.
Now, are we talking about Christian Bale Batman, or are we talking like a stunt double?
I don't know. It could have been. It's hard to tell in the photo because it's a full bat suit, so it could be a stunt double. But yeah, there's literally a photo of a full in costume on set. Everything's lit up, and it's fucking Joker doing a kickflip on a skateboard over Batman on that scene where he's laying on the ground when the one dude grabs the mask and gets shocked. It's like during that scene setup. It's fucking it's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Christian Bale having fun on doing anything.
Probably not.
He does not look like a guy who has fun.
Well, we did see his Terminator Salvation meltdown, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm turned around a little bit on because I kind of understand where he was on that. Maybe not quite such a blowout, but
and he did apologize. Like he made amends. So this is also the guy. Yeah, as soon as there was a shooting at the Batman movie, he was there in Colorado seeing people at the hospital before anybody noticed anything and didn't make a big press event. He just went and did it. Like, he's not a bad guy. Just like we said earlier, everybody has bad days. Apparently, he had a bad day with a lighting tech on.
Oh yeah, because I kind of understand that too. I mean, because you're doing these shoots for over like the same scene over and over, trying to get it right, and you've probably been doing it for days in, days out, and all of a sudden, the lighting guy just walks in the middle of the shot. You can kind of lose your temper. It's probably just a mistake when he's like, I'm so psychic. I can see myself making a fucking mistake like that. But I mean, just a little bit of it. I can understand. But yeah, but he does not look like a fun guy.
No. Still
saying that.
I don't even know how I got down this path about bitching about method actors. Probably Jared Leto.
Is that just going to be our new go-to? I don't know how we got down this train. Probably Jared Leto.
I don't know.
All right, probably Jared Leto.
Willie, what you got for your news?
So that's a little small update on your Netflix thing, because apparently...
Are we going to Netflix and chill, Willie? Because I'm not into that.
You will be.
You're goddamn right.
Because I'm on Bill Cosby, you bitch.
That sounded like a threat. Wow, that was full on a threat.
How'd we get down here? I'm blaming Jared Leto.
You know what we're talking about? Date raping Chris. Jesus.
He's my friend, so I get to say that. Wait, we are friends, right?
Yes. Well, at least we were until you said you were going to date rape me.
If that's the qualification, Willie, we are not friends. Let's just get that right now. Just so you know. I'm glad I live much further away right now. I feel kind of safe.
I believe it was you, Chris, who had the news about the Netflix upping their price model.
Yes,
right?
I think we touched on that last week.
That was me.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember who. My memory, you guys.
I just remember that we did it on the show. I didn't remember who did it.
A little side note of that, I thought it was hilarious how Hulu, after Netflix said that, well, we're dropping our prices. I thought that was hilarious. But apparently Netflix, they underestimated the amount of people that were going to sign up for Netflix, even after all this. So they have a big a lot more money coming in on them. So they're going to so this year they spent $6 billion on their originals. So next year they're going to up it to $8 billion. That's billion with a B. Just on all their originals. Next year alone, they were going to release 40 original movies. That's more than any studio is doing next year. So that's a crazy amount of shit Netflix is doing, and they've been putting out some good stuff. So
40 movies, isn't it 80 original properties they have coming out next year?
Maybe it was 80. Okay, I said.
I thought the article I saw was 80. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that's probably I wrote about 80. It can't be right. Maybe I just mixed up the 80 billion. Maybe it's just 40. So yeah,
including Bright, which apparently they spent like $400 million on.
Is that this year or next year?
That's next year.
Oh yeah, I'm still curious about that movie. I mean, it's Will Smith, but it still looks interesting. I think someone described it as Training Day with orcs and fairies.
Yeah, it's Cyberpunk Training Day.
So I'm looking forward to that. And then my last note here was I'm watching Punisher over Justice League. This is Netflix.
Well, I mean, it's the play now for Netflix. There's all this talk of people want to stand up their own streaming site. Look at Disney, who is like, oh, we're going to take our content back, Netflix. We're going to stand up our own streaming site. So instead of Netflix just kind of being like, well, that sucks, and trying to pay even more money to get it, it's okay. Let's do what's worked for us. Let's invest in even more original content. Like, if you go on Netflix, I think it's like every Friday or at the end of the week, there's almost always a new comedy special coming out on Netflix. They're the place to go for comedy specials right now. It's become one of their big things. Their original content, I think they hit more than they miss. But that being said, there's absolutely no way in hell I can watch all of it. But the stuff that I do watch or start on, I go, okay, this is pretty good. There's been very few things I've started on Netflix and gone, up, the hell with this. But maybe I haven't started enough stuff to be fair.
I said I've watched a lot of the original content because I'm a fan of the crappy horror films and the occasional crappy bad sci-fi TV series, and they've picked up a lot of stuff and added on to it. I actually just started the second season of Slasher this weekend. There was a show that I want to say they did it on the Space Channel in Canada. It was one season, and it was just this chick's parents get murdered. She moves back to the town where it happened, and there's a serial killer, and it's a whole season to find out basically who the serial killer is. And then the new season is a different murder that happened and the results of it. And so it's like American Horror Story, but it's a show where every season is a new murder and a different murder setup. And Netflix bought it and made it an original series, and they're running with it. And it's a great show. I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of the second season yesterday. And I mean, between the movies they do, the comedy specials are insane. They just released Patton Oswalt's Annihilation. It is so fucking good and so hard to watch. If anybody is not aware, Patton Oswalt's wife died, and he had to take about a year off from comedy and just doing anything just, to basically deal with it. And he addresses it because, of course, he had to. His comedy is all about him and his life and things that he does and him and his daughter and his family. And so he had to, basically had to do a Netflix special where he dealt with losing his wife. And I'm a cold-blooded psychopath, and I almost cried watching this shit. If you're a touchy-feely person, I'll tell you, be ready with a box of tissues because it is fucking heart-rending. But it's also fantastic. It's well made. So I think it's another one that Bobcat Goldthwait shot. Bobcat Goldthwait is a hell of a director. Like, he has put so many of these comedy specials together, and been the director on them, and nobody notices his name, which is funny because, yeah, for when it comes to directing, he's fantastic. He's put together a lot of great movies. But yeah, you could watch just Netflix original stuff and basically keep yourself busy almost all the time.
Yeah, there's so much stuff on there.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with you, the tissues. I'm going to wear my tears with a badge of pride.
Oh, you watch Annihilation, I'll bet you're going to be crying because, yeah, it's a great comedy special. It's super funny. But, yeah, he gets about halfway into it, and he goes through this stupid sequence, and he goes, yeah, I'm just kind of delaying because I don't want to get to the next part. Because, of course, you know, just because he wrote the material about it and he wants to address it doesn't mean he wants to address it. Because it's still going to be hard for him to bring that stuff up. But, yeah, he addresses it, and he makes some of it really fucking funny. And it's one of those things, it's like, you know, time plus pain equals comedy. And here is definite proof of it.
It's probably kind of cathartic to use Painful just to kind of talk about it and put it out there and maybe try and put some of those demons to rest. I don't know if they ever truly go to rest fully, because thankfully I haven't had to experience something like that in my life, but it's tough.
Yeah, but it's good stuff. It was a great comedy special. I laughed till I cried watching it Saturday night.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff on there. Like, if you get a chance and you like mockumentaries, go look at American Vandal, which like makes a riff on things like Making a Murderer and things like that. The whole concept's about this kid in high school that supposedly took down the security camera and spray painted dicks on 67 teachers' cars or whatever. So like their whole advertising campaign for it, like you watch the trailer on it, is hashtag who drew the dicks. It's just hilarious. But it's a mockumentary. And the funny thing is going on Twitter and seeing how many people thought it was actually kind of a real documentary about this kid did something supposedly and they're trying to uncover the truth.
Well, that was the first time I watched the trailer for it, because like on Netflix now, when you look on your computer, you know, you'll scroll through something and like sometimes the previews just start. Yeah, and like that one started when I logged onto it the other day. And at first you can't tell that it's a mockumentary. Like they did it so well that at first I was like, wait, is this fucking real? And then like you read the little thing, I was like, okay, this is a mockumentary. Like it's meant to be funny.
And here's the kicker. It's like an 8-part mockumentary or something like that.
Yeah, like it's insane. Like it's a full-on series. Like it's nuts.
I do hate how Netflix does that, though. I'm just trying to scroll. I'm trying to read the description, and all of a sudden the shit starts playing, the sound. Comes. I'm like, I'm trying to read. I can't. I guess I'll watch this instead of reading your shit. So I'm sorry for whoever has to write all that stuff down, because I'm not reading anymore. It's too damn confusing.
Oh, yeah, and Dressman's agreeing with me and Willie. The Babysitter is fucking fantastic. It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And Robbie Amell is hilarious as the shirtless jock. Why is his shirt off? That's your first question?
I like how he comes back to it before they stop. They're like, but no, why is his shirt off?
Why is his shirt off? He's just standing there. So why? Look at him. That was such a fucking funny movie. It's so strange, but it was so funny.
So one last story as we start to wrap things up, just because I wanted to bring this up because it fits nicely in the no-duh kind of things. So early box office tracking for Star Wars The Last Jedi says we can anticipate a debut with a whopping $215 million, meaning it'll beat Jurassic World for the second highest opening weekend and sit only behind Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Nice. I already got my ticket.
I'll get mine whenever I go. Willie's like, I'm not getting one. F that.
What are you talking about? I saw both of them in theaters.
I didn't.
The Force Awakens and
I didn't know if you were going to fight the power on this one, buddy.
I still got to say boo Rogue One. That's just my opinion, though. I mean,
yeah, Rogue One had its flaws. I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie, but it's not one I'm like, I have to go back and rewatch all the time like I do some of the other Star Wars movies.
I mean, I don't like war movies, so there you go. That is a Star Wars war movie. So I mean, it's.
I love it just for Alan Tudyk's. He's fucking hilarious in that.
But he was, but he only had how many lines, and that doesn't.
Yeah, but they were all great lines.
But that does not fill the whole runtime.
No, it does not.
That and the Blind Jedi. I love me some Blind Jedi. Donnie Yen was awesome.
But looking at the time, guys, it's time for us to start wrapping up. But before we do that, we like to remind folks that we are, in fact, part of a network of shows that you can find over at GonnaGeek.com. There's 20 plus shows on the network covering a variety of topics. We have some things that are specific as just one TV show, other things that are like tabletop gaming, other things that are like nerd culture. We've got all sorts of shows, and each week we try to highlight one specific show to entice you to say, hey, you guys should check this out. It's pretty good. So, Willie, what show are we talking about this week?
This week I will be talking about the Super Geeky Playdate, episode 59, the top 5 soundtracks. Our good friend Max stops in, and by a weird coincidence, so does our arch nemesis, Randy. We discuss Justice League, Star Wars, Black Panther, and all the best music. Back to you, Chris.
Why, thank you, Willie. So you guys can go check that out over at GonnaGeek.com. And as we wrap up the show, we wrap up with a bit called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys just what kind of geeky and nerdy things we've been getting into, so that maybe, just maybe, we can entice you into checking those out as well. So, Bachman, why don't you start us out? What have you been getting into?
I've been getting into the start of Marvel Legacy. They started the Legacy titles, and I picked up my comics on payday. The start of the fall of Parker, the Amazing Spider-Man. This is fucked up because now Parker's having to deal with the fact that to stop Doc Ock from getting a hold of Parker Industries during Secret Empire, basically Parker blew up his company. So all the people that work for him now don't have jobs. All the webware and tech that he sold worldwide is now junk and doesn't work. And so basically, in a world that, thought of Spider-Man as a threat or a menace, now the question is Peter Parker, threat or menace. And it's really well done. It's a great start to a new storyline, but it's kind of crazy to see a world in which Peter Parker is now the bad guy that the public hates. Not Spider-Man, Peter Parker. The Gwenom storyline keeps going, which they got her full on in the suit now. So Spider-Gwen now has the Venom suit in the Gwen universe, and it's a crazy design and an even crazier storyline because it's, her talking to herself, and then they've added in the word bubbles where you're hearing the second voice in her head. And some of the things that the second voice is saying is pretty cool. Champions, they got the first issue of the Champions. It's a back-to-back storyline with the Avengers. Seeing what they're doing with those characters now that there's been some big changes and shuffles in the major power structure is cool. And then the Champions team itself is just super fun. Plus, it's Humberto Ramos artwork. Humberto Ramos drawing Spider-Man characters, Hulk characters, super cartoony characters like Miss Marvel. His art style is just super fun. And then this was probably the strangest one that I wasn't sure I was going to pick up, as they ended the totally awesome Hulk, and Amadeus Cho, dealing with having trouble controlling the Hulk, put himself in a spaceship to run tests on himself, and then got a like an SOS from a planet and decided to go check it out. And so he's now the Incredible Hulk back on the planet Sakaar. So the Green Scar has returned to the planet that he once broke, and it's a different Hulk, but as far as they're concerned, it's still just the Hulk. So seeing what Greg Pak's the one writing it, who wrote the Planet Hulk storyline. So seeing what he's going to do with the Amadeus Cho totally awesome Hulk, it's a good first issue. I'm excited to see where he's going to go with it. And then I had a fun week working on drawings, keeping up with Inktober and finishing sketchbooks. I'm past the halfway point on the Kickstarter, and now getting to the end is nice. I've got all the rest of the regular levels are all mailed out. The Emperor levels are all mailed out. The Jedi Masters are all, first half of them are mailed out, and all of them are drawn now. So all those covers are sketched. I got to ink the rest of them and mail them out. And then the Sith Lord ones, I got to ink in color. But so, yeah, I'm getting there. It's finally getting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm stoked. And I got a present. My buddy went on a little vacation. And while he was on vacation, he stopped at the new museum at what used to be the Music Experience, whatever, in Seattle. It's now the Modern Popular Museum, something. They did a whole big change, but he got there right as they were starting their sale for Halloween stuff. And so they had put up a bunch of movie memorabilia and a bunch of Funko Pops. And so he sent me a text message asking if I wanted any, and he sent me a bunch of photos. And one of the Pops that he showed me a photo of was the Jack Torrance chase figure from The Shining. So I got my very first chase figure, and it's frozen Jack covered in snow carrying an axe, and then on the box they actually have red rum written backwards in ink across the plastic. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
I finally got a chase figure, and yeah, it's just super cool looking. Like he's got little flakes of snow in his eyebrows. Like it's so cool. He's just bright blue. He just looks totally frozen. It's fantastic. So that's what I've been doing.
So I'll go next because I know Willie's got some stories for us at the end of the show. Gaming wise, South Park Stick of Truth came in on Tuesday, I think it was. I have been playing that, and if you enjoy, not Stick of Truth, Fractured But Whole. It came with South Park Stick of Truth, so I've been playing the new one, and it's pretty fun. I've enjoyed the gameplay. They changed it, so instead of like the gameplay from before, it's almost like the tactical RPGs now, where you have to move about in a grid, and certain powers only work straight ahead, certain powers work on a diagonal, things like that. It's been a lot of fun. The story is hilarious. One of the moments that just cracks me up, and I don't know why, is you fight people in the streets, and when you're fighting, you'll hear someone go, hey, car, guys, car, and they'll get out of the street so that the car can drive by and cuss at them for playing in the street. And for some reason, that just tickles me that they put that kind of gameplay in there. And someone did that when I was fighting the Freedom Pals, which is the other superhero team. And Super Craig, who was on my team, looks at me and goes, hey, fuck you, it's Civil War, asshole, as the guy who was driving by screaming at him. It's a hilarious game. If you enjoyed the last South Park game, or you enjoy South Park humor in general, the game basically plays like an extended episode, and you continue to have your fart powers and things like that. It's hilarious. I've had a lot of fun with it. I'm only like 6 hours into it, but I've already had to infiltrate a strip club, give someone a lap dance, spike a bartender's drink so that I could go track down a prostitute / stripper named Classy. With yeah, it was awesome.
Now, are you doing this as your own character that you made, or are you doing this as one of the boys from South Park?
You create your own character. If you played Stick of Truth, you were the new kid in South Park who was called Douchebag. Now you are that same new kid after Stick of Truth. You're that same new kid going into this game, and they call you Butthole instead. Okay. You're the superhero character is the Amazing Butthole, if I remember correctly. And actually, Fractured Butthole starts off with like a reference back to Stick of Truth. In your first few demo fights and stuff like that, you're the king from South Park Stick of Truth, and then they decide to change games. Like, we'll see you later, new kid, you're no longer powerful. And you're like, what the hell? I was the all-powerful king.
Nice.
It's been surprisingly fun. There's all sorts of random side quests. I've had to fight a bunch of Raisins girls. It's really fun. I've had a boatload of fun with it. I understand why some people like it, but if you're not a fan of South Park, yeah, this game's not going to do it for you. If you enjoy South Park humor, totally go check it out. It's a lot of fun. Other stuff I've been getting into. Yesterday, went out for an adventure in the real world. Went up to one of the local farms around here who had a corn maze set up. Did a corn maze. That was fun. Didn't get lost too terribly so. Did not get attacked in the corn maze like people were joking about. Like Children of the Corn kind of shit and things like that. It seemed funny at the time. What else have we been getting into? Finally, I've been watching some other Netflix stuff. Finished season 1 of Master of None this morning, actually, while I was cooking breakfast. And by cooking breakfast, I mean I put some bread in the toaster, and then just that was the extent of my breakfast. And started season 2 before I came down here. And I've got to get caught up on like all sorts of the CW superhero shows. I haven't watched Flash, haven't watched Legends. I'm behind already, guys, and we're week 2 into the season. It's bad news. It's bad.
Kind of sad.
News.
You're not missing much.
Yeah, well. Willie, what have you been getting into, sir?
Well, I mean, wasn't that road rage incident enough for you people?
Well, I know you had
more
some festivities going on for your birthday.
Jesus Christ. When was my birthday? I had a birthday?
Oh, come on. We know you were going to go see some shows. How'd those shows go?
All right, so Thursday I had an awesome start out to my morning. I did go to a Doug Benson stand-up show afterwards, and it was funny as hell. I did get picked on a little bit because he did pull up my Twitter, South Porky. There's a lot of confusion about what it was. Yep. But I kept on going. Got to go up on stage to do the last man standing during his stand-up. And yeah, all I can say is fuck O.J. Simpson. Piece of shit.
You're not the
Hope
only
he
person
rots
to
in
say
prison.
that.
Hope he rots in fucking prison.
He's out of
'cause
prison,
that.
man. He's free.
He can go back in and rot. My statement still stands. Just because he's out now doesn't mean he's gonna fuck up again. I'm gonna go say I got some of his stuff and wait for him to break into my place. And then Friday was Friday. Yeah, Friday was nothing important. And then Saturday, yesterday, I guess I did have a birthday. It's just another day at this point. Who cares? Because I'm still the baby of this group. You old bastards, you.
Not by much, though.
Dockie's
Fuck you,
included.
Willie.
You're all old bastards.
Fucking children. Surrounded by children.
Nah, fuck you. But yeah, then I did go to a live taping of Doug Loves Movies on Saturday. I was so excited, but there was a couple of stops along the way. I was driving a different vehicle. It has internal GPS in it, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna use this GPS so it frees up my phone, so I don't have to use my phone's GPS. That's awesome. Picked up the person, put the address in. And I was like, okay, it's telling me to go this way. It's a little weird. All right. Pretty much, I think the GPS is set up so it's not going to take you down highways at all. I had to go to Raleigh, which is about an hour and a half away. That ended up about 20, 30 minutes before I figured it out. I was like,
Oh, shit.
fuck, are you kidding me? I was like, why didn't you just tell me to go this? Where's this? Okay, this GPS knows better than I. No, it's just fucking telling you to go back roads and everything to a city that's an hour and a half away if you go the highway.
Well, I think you can set up some GPSs to avoid major freeways.
Yeah,
as a
that's
preset.
stupid.
So yeah, I think you probably got someone had set that up on it.
I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So yeah, I figured that. So they had 20 minutes. I did stop and got some donuts. Sadly, my name tag was not chosen, but Doug did talk about. It. I was like, he did say like, what's that? What's that Willy Wonka one? It says Willie Nelson. It's like, you son of a bitch. I was like, yeah, I'm a son of a bitch.
Well, that and on the Douglas minis, they talked about the one from the night before with his boobs on what's her name from A Fish Called Willie?
Jamie
Lee Curtis.
Yeah. If you want to see any of my name tags, they are on Twitter at South Porky. There you go. I hardly use it, but I did do that. And my name also wasn't yelled out for Last Man Standing too. Damn it. I was gonna say Rob Schneider.
Sorry, Willie.
It's all good.
You can do it.
What sounds like it was an exciting adventure, though. So you got that going for you. You had an adventure. You got
I
lost
got to
on
hang out
side roads.
And Doug was the headliner. Who was the opening act kind of? Doug does his stand-ups a little weird way where he comes up first, and then he lets his opening act come up in the middle, and then he finally comes back up and finishes it off. It's a little, he knows it's a little weird, but Trey Gallion, that dude's awesome. If you listen to this, you're fucking awesome, dude. Although I didn't tell him about this podcast, so I doubt he is. Oh well.
Why didn't you tell him about our podcast, man? Damn.
I forgot. I told other people. I was like, whenever you listen.
Yeah,
to
Trey
podcasts.
Gallion is funny. He is a funny comedian.
And for my name tag yesterday, because if your name tag is chosen but your person doesn't win, they will actually read off a shithead. Doug will read off, whoever this person is a shithead. So I put down preemptively said anyone who doesn't listen to the All Things Good Nerdy podcast.
That would have been good.
Nice.
If it'd been a good enough name tag to be chosen.
Nice.
Oh, it was all. It's an awesome name tag. I'm sorry. I had donuts up with it. I was like holding it all up. Yeah. Oh, and the seating at this place, Good Nights. Worst seating I've ever had. Thursday, it was okay, but I was like scrunched in with everybody. But oh my God, yesterday. Because it's weird how they sit you in there. You just don't go in there and sit down wherever. They put you in spots like a restaurant. And so I'm sit down, and there's a table in front of us with 4 seats, and they're all facing forward. That table's weird, and there's a table behind us. It's a fucking weird setup. And then so there's a person they got set after us in front of me, and that chair is right in front of me. I had no choice but to man spread. because I could not close my legs. Otherwise, I would be squeezing in on that chair and his love handles. Whoever was in front of me, I'm sorry that I kept kneeing you every now and then because I had no foot room at all.
Yeah, the way they set up some of those places is weird. Because when Doug came to the knitting factory, we had seats on the floor. That's usually the dance floor, and they just had the chairs all out there. But they did a row of each row of 8 chairs. They zip tied them together so they couldn't be moved. So you literally had, if somebody sat next to you, you were literally your arm next to their arm squished in because there was nowhere to. You couldn't shuffle over. You couldn't scooch a little bit to give anybody room because you would just fall off the end of your chair because you couldn't move your freaking chair.
What they do like an airport does, or airport does with a bigger person, you have to buy 2 seats.
They didn't do that as far as I saw. But also, we were lucky it wasn't fully crowded. So, I had a seat open next to me, and then there was a guy in the 3rd seat. So we actually had a little bit of room. So it wasn't too bad. It could have been bad though. If it had been a sold out show, it would have been really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
that place was packed. But I had a great time.
Well, Willie, I'm excited that you had a chance to go and have that adventure. I have not gotten to go see Doug Benson do a show before, so I'm jealous.
Yeah, when you get a chance to do it, dude, it's funny.
I'll put it on my list. We'll get there at some point in time. But guys, looking at the time, it is time for us to start wrapping things up. So a friendly reminder, we are in fact part of the Gonna Geek Network, and we stream live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, over on Geeks.live, the streaming home of the network. And hey, Sunday is a busy day for the network, so if you want some more Gonna Geek content and you're on Geeks.live right now, hang around for another 45 minutes. We've got Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. kicking off. I don't know what they're discussing this week. It might be Defenders. I'm not 100% sure. But hey, if you like Marvel content and you like our Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. folks, hang around for that. Then at 6 p.m. tonight, we have the Starling Tribune podcast where we recap and discuss the 2nd episode of Season 6 of Arrow. And finally, at 9 p.m. tonight, the Pop X cast. And I'm not sure what their discussion topic is this week, but hey, it's always fun, whatever they discuss, because that's a show that's got some great chemistry. So please feel free to hang around Geeks.live, watch more content. Before we wrap up, though, you guys have any final thoughts for us?
Man, fuck you, Chris.
What?
What?
Man, I'm sorry. I have no idea why I said that. I'm just gonna blame Jared Leto on this. I'm sorry.
He almost forgot his own joke.
Fair enough. I was like, wait, what did I actually do? I was like, did I screw something up in there?
It's called comedic timing, Bachman.
Yeah, you should work on that. I'm Tiny Rick!
There was no time. What?
See, I can just yell that whenever. I'm Tiny Rick!
It's getting played out.
No. Never.
A little bit.
Thank you, Chris.
Tiny Rick.
I retract my fuck you from earlier.
Well, thank you, sir. So I guess that is going to wrap us up. Don't forget, we're here every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, for more ridiculousness. So I'm going to hit the outro button, and you guys can say whatever you want as we start the outro. Nothing.
Do you really have to say 10 a.m. Central?
I do for Naki.
It's just implied because if it's Eastern, it's
Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.